Have you ever encountered an individual who appeared exceptionally kind, composed, generous, and almost unnaturally perfect? They regarded the right with a smile. They communicated with a deliberate elegance, maintaining a calm demeanor, never elevating their voice or succumbing to frustration. Yet, there was an unsettling quality about them that lingered. An ineffable sensation coursed through you, an instinctual murmur urging caution. What if the true peril in humanity lies not with those who display overt cruelty, anger, or aggression, but rather with those who possess no shadow? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist renowned for his profound insights into the human psyche, posited that the most perilous individuals are not those who openly display their imperfections, but rather those who conceal them so adeptly, even from their own consciousness. On the exterior, they appear tranquil. However, underneath lies an impending tempest, one they have yet to confront. Before we proceed, should you seek to explore the intricacies of the human psyche, contemplate subscribing to Deep Psyche. We delve into the obscured realms, the intricate patterns, and the concealed verities that construct your existence. In order to grasp Jung's caution, it is essential to revisit one of his fundamental notions, the idea of the persona. The persona represents the facade we adopt, the iteration of our identity that we showcase to society. It facilitates our ability to operate within the framework of society, courteous, amiable, and balanced. However, the issue emerges when we start to accept that the facade constitutes the entirety of existence. For it is within the depths of the unconscious that we find a vast and untamed domain, a sanctuary for instincts, neglected recollections, suppressed emotions, and perhaps most significantly, the shadow. The shadow represents all that we choose to overlook within ourselves. The feelings of envy and rage, alongside the elements of selfishness, coexist with a remarkable wild creativity, a primal instinct, and an unapologetic truth. It is not solely the product of malevolence or suffering. It is influenced by the conflict between our true selves and the identities we believe we ought to embody. In our formative years, we rapidly discern the behaviors and traits that elicit affection and those that lead to disapproval. Thus, we shape our own identities. We suppress the elements that are incongruent. Perhaps we are instructed that anger is undesirable, leading us to conceal it. Perhaps what is often labeled as ambition is merely perceived as arrogance, leading us to suppress it. It starts to communicate through dreams, emotional eruptions, dependencies, and projections, not due to a desire to inflict harm upon us, but rather out of a yearning for recognition. Jung cautioned, "What remains unconscious will manifest as destiny." To put it differently, a limited understanding of your own shadow will result in it exerting greater influence over you. Here lies the paradox. Individuals who perceive themselves as entirely virtuous pose the greatest threat, as they are devoid of introspection. They exhibit an absence of self-doubt. They exhibit a deficiency in the self-awareness necessary to acknowledge, perhaps the issue lies within myself. They rationalize their dominance as benevolence, their coercion as safeguarding. There exists a shadow straining to break free. At the instant you pose a challenge to them, even in a mild manner, the fissures will become apparent. Irony, detachment, retraction, unvoiced retributions, or, even more insidiously, a covertly hostile interaction that leads one to question their own sanity. They do not erupt in the manner of individuals who are overtly toxic. They gradually diminish, imperceptibly, until you begin to question your own reality, constricting your desires, cautiously navigating their expectations. Your nervous system is perceiving the dichotomy between their facade and the aspects of themselves they have yet to embrace. This is the point at which Jung's insight penetrates most profoundly. The peril does not reside in the absence of light. The peril lies in the act of denial. An individual who acknowledges, "Indeed, I can exhibit selfishness. I have the capacity to respond with immediacy," Engaging in self-improvement is undoubtedly more prudent than claiming to possess an unwavering disposition of kindness. I have never caused harm to another individual. I distinguish myself from those individuals. The individual who acknowledges their shadow engages in a conscious relationship with it, whereas the one who denies its existence remains under its influence, often without any awareness of this dynamic. Jung posited that this denial of the shadow transcended mere psychological issues. It represented a profound lack of insight, an unwillingness to engage in self-reflection, a perilous naivety. And that purity transforms into something toxic, not out of desire or a sense of moral superiority. What measures can one take to ensure personal safety? By attuning oneself to the disquiet. Not every person exhibiting good manners can be deemed trustworthy. Not every smile conveys authenticity. At times, those who inflict the greatest harm present themselves with a veneer of civility, as they have yet to confront their own reality. Jung's work prompts a profound inquiry. What insights elude my perception regarding them? However, of greater significance, what aspects of myself remain unrecognized? As we deepen our understanding of our own shadow, we find it increasingly straightforward to recognize the games, the facades, and the manipulations exhibited by others. Once it is perceived, it becomes an indelible part of one's awareness. If you experienced a sense of discomfort in the presence of another individual without being able to articulate the reason, rest assured, you are not irrational. You're not exhibiting paranoia. You have emerged from slumber. Indeed, it is quite possible that they will remain unchanged, as such a transformation would necessitate the acknowledgement that their perceived perfection was, in fact, a fabrication. However, you possess the capacity to make an alternative choice. You are capable of confronting what others choose to evade. One may encounter their shadow, cultivate a relationship with it, and derive insights from its presence. For when one engages in such actions, one does not descend into a state of darkness. You attain completeness. In that state of completeness, one develops a resilience against those who have yet to discover their true selves. If this contemplation resonates within you, contemplate subscribing to Deep Psyche, where we explore the depths beyond the superficial and engage with the essence of the soul. Understanding oneself is not merely a privilege, it serves as a safeguard. Yet resonate with their intuitive awareness.